project layout, but this is the way I prefer to have it. Like that, and the game and the scene, that to 16:9. Should we do 4:3? So now we can go back to the tutorial and initial setup again. Basic settings, so Windows. Bolt doesn't appear in the window. Okay, that's going to be a problem. Bolt not appearing here means that we can't actually access settings and whatnot. So upload exception has occurred. A whole bunch of errors there, so it doesn't look like we can use Unity 5. I'll just save that. Scene. Is there anything in the scene? We added the cube. We don't actually need to save it. I can't use Unity 5. That's great. I mean, we could do a different project, but the idea here was to try and get Bolt networking working. This launches Unity 4, it does. So, yep, revert. And that's good that I can install them side by side. I wasn't actually sure if I could. Okay, so here we are, back to the start. So I'm actually wondering with the issues I've had with this, the scenes and whatnot, whether or not I should start a new project. Particularly because when I imported the test assets, created some problems, but I think we can push through. Yeah, you're right in chat. Let's see Bolt working. That's the priority. We'll load up our world again. And where were we? We'll have that Bolt server. Delete that. Just check our layers and stuff again. Layers look fine. Tags and sorting layers look fine. Actually wonder if we're gonna have to completely change our player, but that's fine. There's nothing special about the player just yet. So we go forward on chapter 2. So it talks about this. This is where we left off before. This camera. I didn't like that he asked us to include these camera script player camera.cs. We might redo the camera from scratch. Tutorial player callbacks. So the tutorial player callback, let's try and figure out what it does first. Instantiates the player camera. maybe we can take his existing camera, have a look again. Bolt tutorial. We have Middleton player camera. Nothing special about it is this. Not sure what the rig and the target are. They're positioned at 0. Some smooth timing and offset. This stuff, height and offset, aiming distance are local things like configuration, running distance maybe as well. The running smooth timing is a networking value. We'll use that value to determine how quickly it's synchronizing the position. Yeah, this script figure out what is actually being used, height, offset. The only other thing it does is on awake it says don't destroy this object. Update camera scripts. There's a lot of stuff in here that we don't actually need. Dummy rig and dummy position. Calculate camera transfer. I'm gonna say we start with our own. So we've got a player, which is our camera, really. Our camera is below it. Main camera, the tag is main camera. Should check to see if this player camera, this is untagged, actually tagged with main camera. Player camera and camera are both untagged. I might just remove that from main camera. Call it camera. Because we're going to have multiple instances of these players running around. So camera's attached right at the top. Not sure about the dummy rig stuff yet. So player callbacks. We go into our game directory scripts. Create folder, callback. And we'll create a script called player callback. This is the problem, including the tutorial. The scripts all conflict with each other. He already has one called player callbacks because it's in the tutorial. I guess now that we've got resources and script, let's do something crazy. Go to this directory. That's it. The tutorial. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to put that into my downloads directory. Just removing it from Unity altogether. Get rid of all the tutorial stuff, but we can still reference it. Okay, that doesn't seem to be a problem. That means that our script now over here is fine. There we go, that was a quicker load than last time. Now, what are we doing with this one? Have the class inherit from bolt callbacks. Instead of mono behavior, bolt callbacks. Yep. Apply the bolt level behavior. Bolt level behavior for world is our level 2. Scene load local done. That's the method we want. Click override scene load local done. And player camera instantiate. Instantiate. I spelled that wrong, no. Player camera it doesn't find because that was the special script he'd attached to the camera. So if I go back to downloads directory, bolt tutorial scripts callbacks. Oh, sorry, not callbacks. Player camera. Player camera. Bolt singleton prefab. Its own class name. We need to create that. Here, create folder player. Create script player camera. That's complaining that player camera doesn't exist. That's fine. I need to change my template to Unity. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, what needs to go into this really? Adding a camera, player camera. Look, so that velocity, which is internal camera itself, is the player camera goes on the parent object. So serialized field transform camera. Supposed to be private? No, I didn't. That's going to be public. And at offset any distance, running distance, smoothing time. Dummy rig and dummy target. I'm not sure about those yet, so click new camera. Go with uppercase. Get return this.cam camera. It must be private. In which case, change the names a little bit. That's fine. Let's get health and things I'm not sure about. Like void awake, standard unity fallback. Get game object, but don't destroy unload this. Game object, because this is I think we might need to pass game object specifically because we're not in a mono behavior, and the don't destroy unload will call a, I can say this dot. Destroy unload. Where is it getting don't destroy unload? Don't object. Object target. Game object. Okay. Yeah, okay. Running distance late update, updates the camera, which was locks the cursor every update. Show cursor false, lock cursor true. I'm inclined to do that on wait. Rather than late update. Lock cursor true. And dot show cursor. Easy. Okay, I think that's all we really need from that. We've done that. We've done this. This is the callbacks. Player callbacks. So ours looks the same as this, and player camera now exists. What does what do? When Bolt starts, it finds all classes which have global behavior level 2, and in some way or other inherit from mono behavior, and Bolt callbacks itself inherits from mono behavior. Okay. Okay. Unclass tutorial player callbacks. Yeah. Bolt will go through the classes it found matching these two conditions and create instances of them automatically for you. Then they exist when Bolt's running. Any instances which are created are added to the Bolt game object, which is automatically created by Bolt on start. We can specify if it's client or server-side thing. Specifying nothing means it will be both server and client. Okay. Okay. Open window Bolt scenes and click players level 2. You should now see server starting game. I'm not actually sure if they attached it. Very important that you do not attach this behavior to any game object, any of your scenes. So it wants to be on a prefab. Okay, so we need to make a prefab. I think we've got a prefab, it's just that it's a little bit different. So if I add all the movement stuff is a bit premature, so I'll remove that. Got these settings here that we want. I'm just going to take a screenshot of those. Okay. Now we want to create this prefab, so we need to attach the player camera. The camera transform is underneath it. And now we will take this into prefabs and overwrite the existing player. Now the player is working fine. Player state thing's an old thing from before. Okay. Slowly but surely. Done all that. So starting with the camera, open the bolt scenes and click play as server on level 2 scene. So save window, bolt scene, play as server. Interesting that it's actually got control. I thought I removed that. It's still got all of our stuff. Oh, because the player existed in the scene, I think. Oh, what? state automatically replicates that state to any of the nodes on the network, including transform animations. Okay, so under scripts, under player, we have our camera already. Create bolt state. Create bolt. Oh, sorry, that's off the screen for you guys, but create bolt state. You've got this new bolt state, which they'll probably get you to call player state. Yep. Player state. Okay, so there's a couple of settings here. Scripts, callbacks, and player scripts. Yep, so we've got it in the right place. He's not showing the player camera in that hierarchy for some reason. Let's look at the state itself. So value change. So first thing, disable. It's changed, like normally there's a little checkbox, but he's got these blue and grey buttons. So we click on that to disable Mechanim, because we're not going to do that just yet. Concept predefined states, one for transform, one for Mechanim. Replicate when changed or on first replication. So on first replication is good for something that never changes during the game. And value change of something that's moving around and whatnot. I was talking about ownership. The thing that instantiates an object on the network owns that object. And what else? Just talking about ownership, a bit of an introduction. You can choose where it replicates to. Okay, so we're going to replicate to everyone except the controller. And the same for Mechanim if we were using it. So we'll just, in case we do use it later, we'll just change that. Save. So the controller will use a different, probably a local prediction state. Time to compile Bolt again. So we hit compile. So now we need to create the serializer. So on our prefab for the player, we still have this no serializer issue. So in tutorial scripts player, Bolt, oh, there we go. We've got Bolt engine compile assets. Anyway, create. Sorry, it's off the screen end. Bolt engine. Oh no, C# script. Player serializer. Conflicting file modification. Overwrite. It's just Unity changing the project file outside of Visual Studio. So when you created that player state object, Bolt created an iPlayer state. So I should be able to. Trying to remember my shortcuts. F8 or something. Go to definition. peak definition. Anyway, it creates that for you. There we go, iPlayer status come in. And if I click Alt F12, yes. It's just a transform in there, which came from the options we enabled over here on the player prefab. Sorry, on the player state. We only enabled transform, so that's the only one that was enabled in that script. If we hit compile again and after enable mechanism, it would come into the interface player state. Okay. Okay, so apparently just leave that empty for now. Then we should be able to, our serializer, if we add it onto the player prefab, player serializer, and then we drag that up to here, our bolt entity now has the serializer and it's not complaining anymore. So, scene loading callbacks. We need to hook in the callback on the server to instantiate a prefab for both server and clients. So now we're getting into server callbacks, which we started before but had issues with. This is player callbacks. I create a C# script called server callbacks. Okay. So this is when we define it as a behavior, we tell it it's just for the server. So bolt global behavior, and just the network mode is for the server only. Scene load local and scene load remote. Public override void. Sorry, it needs to inherit from bolt callbacks. Public override scene load local done, and public override scene load remote done. Those are the two that we're doing for the moment. Now when it's loaded locally, actually it's the same call. So bolt keeps a reference of all the prefabs that it knows about, and we're just instantiating the player. So instantiate bolt prefabs.player.